Welcome to the RD Community Podcast number 2. It's titled When Does TSM Play? And it's one of the most important questions we have pressing on our minds, alongside where is my microphone, and alongside where is Flevel, and alongside where is Jacklov. I'm joined here today by Justin.
These are all good questions.
There's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Hello.
Alright, so what do you have to say about North America as a whole?
We are here to mourn the loss of North American League of Legends. They had some great teams and TSM.
I mean, for it to
It's so
have
bad.
died, it would have meant that it was alive at some point, which I'm not sure
And-
of.
Hey, they were alive at some point, kind of.
And in the
Season
end,
4
C9
maybe?
is still the lost hope.
Yeah, it's actually.
Unironically.
OG Niels has reconnected.
He has been let free from the talent suppression machine. I can't wait for Welcome C9 Kobe in 2 years.
Oh no! Welcome G2's and G2 Niels. Monkas.
I have one pressing question. How do you guys feel about Monday League, now that we have one try of it?
EU fan, I can't watch it, so that's really not fun.
Yeah, I agree, but also I feel like I've been exposed to too many questions about Monday Night League at this point, and I'm kind of over it. Monday Night League is I like them having more playing days, but a lot of apparently pros have been complaining about the schedule because they lose their free day, which is like, oh no, can they just make Tuesday their new free day?
I mean, for a region that always strives to win worlds, they do complain when they have to actually work hard for it. Because
Well, China.
you
There
don't
are
see the Chinese or the Korean teams complaining, or maybe they do.
I think,
maybe
Chinese
seven-
teams I think the Chinese teams have more important things to complain about at the moment.
Oh, absolutely. Like,
Which is also the reason why they have
will
technically.
the LPL even occur this year? That is the question.
That is a good question. Oh my god, the
I-
LPL's cancelled, dude.
Can we just not touch that topic? I don't want to go anywhere near that.
It's interesting in the state of league to think about.
Yeah.
Because isn't Worlds in China this year?
Yes, but
Yes, yes.
let me just okay. The only thing that we should say about this is if this virus is still a major problem by the time Worlds is around, I think there's going to be bigger problems than where Worlds is going
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah,
That's very
I
true.
agree.
So let's move on to what was the biggest upset of the week. I'm gonna say it was also the worst game of the week, which was the fucking hour-long shit fest between TSM and Immortals. Holy shit! How did they? Okay, so TSM. When does TSM play? But honestly, how did they even manage to fuck up that early game, or fuck up after that early game? Like,
They just recited into doing nothing, which
I swear to
to
God,
me- they've had the longest time to boot camp out of any team in the league,
Mhm.
and they still look the same
Yeah.
as 2018 and 2019. Early
Name
games,
same
they've
way.
been actually pretty good,
Yeah.
but then they don't transcend that into anything.
In the first 15 minutes, they were one of the better performing teams this week.
Yeah, I actually agree.
And after that, they lost their minds, especially the Immortals.
Oh.
Oh, that game, dude! I can't get over that game. It was so bad. But my boy Hakuho won a game. My old boy Soaz won a game, and TSM hasn't. Let's go. Maybe Broken Blade isn't even top 780 top laners in the league.
I made this argument last week. What's changed?
It's the names. That's it.
Yeah,
That's actually how it feels.
but they replaced them players with the exact same players.
It's like, okay, they got Bio in instead of Smoothie, which, yes, their early game looks better. With Dardock, their early game looks better. It looks like a bit better, at least, because their early game wasn't
That's
even that
actually
bad.
a question. How do you think Dardock has done this opening week? He's the
I don't
only one to lose with Lee Sin, to be fair. Lee Sin's 5-1 this week.
Lee Sin's a broken champion. Oh my god. No, I think Dardock, I think he was alright, but I don't think he was like the reason they were bad. I think a lot of things were the reason they were bad. I don't know how. That Lee Sin game was really bad, though, actually.
Yeah,
That was not a good game.
I do agree. I'm struggling to see where this team improved from last split. last season, so. Because for all he's done in his career, I feel Bjergsen's playstyle has been going backwards, not forwards.
I agree with that.
He's not as aggressive. He just wants to farm solo lanes, and he prefers to wait it out, basically.
Dude, he's turning into what Froggen was when Froggen was really bad.
Yeah, and there was a reason Froggen didn't win anything or wasn't picked up by any good team.
Just like I was looking at like some of the games back, and it's like there was just the other day I just played bad, and then there's like itemizing Void Staff on Zillion when there's only like an Ornn with MR and no one else at MR. It's like, what are you trying to achieve with your itemization here, buddy?
It starts from the top on how, like, who's your coaching staff, what is their system. I could not tell you what system TSM are playing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I support C9, so I can tell you exactly how they play and how Reaper wants his team. Like, it transcends from the main roster to the academy, and the academy plays the exact same way. With TSM, there isn't a style. It's almost like freestyle in the sense, just go out and play.
It's like solo queue.
Yeah.
It's like flex queue.
The problem is they've had a new multiple coaches every year.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be good for the players. I really feel sorry for Broken Blade, even though I personally felt he was overrated when he came into the league.
I agree.
He had I think people are lynching off the debut split he had.
Like, yeah, he looked pretty good in spring, and then
Yeah.
he looks gradually worse in summer, and he hasn't done anything to impress me this week. Obviously, it's a small sample size, but
he's now for me fallen back into the bracket of when you bring like a wildcard player in. He's kind of fallen back into like that closer, to an extent, Ruin at times. Like that caliber of player, they're not really going to do anything. And I think in bot lane they're side graded.
Yeah, I mean, it
So
depends.
to me, I don't think they've done anything to be placed second, which a lot of people have done.
Yeah, imagine putting them second. But I think the support trade, at least, I think both teams benefited from what they wanted out of their support player. Because I feel like TSM already had too many voices on their team, and CLG didn't have any voices on their team. So I still think that the support trade was good for both teams.
Yeah.
I just think it collapses when everything else collapses. So I don't know.
I feel sorry for Kobe in the sense, because like Sven, he looked fine. But he wasn't a main threat. He just kind of did the Sven role of just farming up, helping team fights.
I think he looks pretty shaky this week. I think, especially in the TL game, I think he looks pretty bad, actually, in the TL game.
I'm ready to give him a free pass, because he's new to the league, new to the culture, etc. So I'm willing to give him a free pass. And you never know, next week we might be completely wrong and they just 2-0 and they completely stomp. So, but for TSM fans and everyone else thinking that it's a new leaf, this is not a good start. What do you think, Eduardo?
Let's move on now. Okay.
Oh my god.
I just don't know what TSM are expecting to accomplish. They don't seem to have like a clear future or a direction to go towards. Their early game has been good, as you guys mentioned, so that's definitely a bonus.
Something.
But this remembers me of that old EgoFox roster that had a positive GD at 15, like every single game, and then did nothing.
Yeah.
And my biggest issue with this roster is that I don't see a clear direction in which they can improve. Like, I don't see, like, Broken Blade, like, he's good, he's solid, but I don't see him, like, popping off and carrying games in the future. Jersing is just there. Kobe could eventually, but I don't think the pieces fit around him in a proper way. And Dardock really didn't. I mean, he performed about as well as I expected, which is not as good as a lot of players.
There isn't a player like I can't. I personally don't know much about Peter Zhang. Is it Yang or Zhang?
Jung. Peter.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know the Chinese pronunciation. I think it's Jung.
Okay, so Coach Peter, I'm going to call him.
Thank you.
I couldn't tell you how he set that team up to play in either of those games.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I'm going to keep coming back to it because I would say Kane, but he's not really got his full roster together, and you can't say much. I just see how Reaper sets up against every team, and
Yeah.
there is a game plan, and all 5 of his players have bought into how they play, and it is the sign of a really good coach.
I think you saw that with TL last year with Kane. So
yeah, it's 5 players that trust exactly how the coach wants them to play. Because, like you heard Sven on the C9 brain check, he is just so happy now that he has a team that is proactive.
yeah. Oh
Like,
God.
for the people, like, people are fools to think Sven's going to be bad. I didn't think he was the problem on TSM at all.
It's literally the Sven Skaren situation all over again, where they're like, "Oh, good
have
riddance."
A coach that enables your players, they're going to look so much better, and that could be said for most players Reaper has brought in. He just has a way of making players look so good.
Yeah. So basically, what you're telling me is the only reason TSM was ever at the top of the league is because they had a head start.
Pretty much.
Also, I can understand like a team starting slow, like or not having like.
Yeah,
being
it's
as
been
good as
1
they can
week.
be. But that Immortals game just broke me. Like, I really can't see anything.
I closed the stream multiple times in that Immortals game, and came back just to see that it wasn't over yet. I don't know, man. It was 2 Elder Dragons, fucking already Mountain Soul, or not whatever, Dragon Soul. They had 2 Barons, and that's what it took for Immortals to close out that game. Jesus Christ. But good on them. It's like, on paper, that roster should have been really outclassed, but they, Altec played Altec played really, he did exactly what he needed to do in that game.
So
I think Aika was a little sus, though, still.
Oh, yeah. He was...
I think Aika looked really bad in that game, still.
Yeah. Aika was pretty rough on the whole weekend. So
there were so many situations in that game where he just got hard chunks by Senna for no reason other than he just walks up weird. And that and that's a part of what kept the game going so many times. It's like, oh well, Zoe's 40% HP after a Senna auto queue. Guess he has to recall. And never ends.
So my general impression of this weekend throughout all the teams, was that you could really see which teams were like working as a team and which teams were like just solo queue.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of those examples, like the teams that had a kind of one that I can kind of give some benefit of the doubt is CLG, because they didn't even play with Crown until a day before LCS apparently, because of the visa issues. It's like they got it sorted. They might have actually been better off playing with Tuesday if they'd been scrimming with Tuesday, because they haven't been scrimming with Crown. It's like you could feel it. You could really feel that team hadn't been playing as a 5-man unit. And it just felt they've all felt a bit off.
I'm going to take this opportunity to move on to the next game, which is CLG versus Dignitas, since we're talking about Crown and everything.
Yeah. Speaking of Dignitas.
Speaking of
CLG, the amount of crap I've given this player, like in personal chats and whatever, I will raise my hands to Froggen and say well played.
He played really fucking well.
He was, as voted by Riot, the best player in the league this week.
Yes.
And I think rightfully so.
He played so well this week.
He played out of his mind.
This is what I wanted to see.
This is what everyone wanted to see.
This is what I wanted to see in Elements. This is what I wanted to see on Echo Fox. This is what I wanted to see all those tries that he had to like try and come back in the 2-year Echo Fox stint mainly, and he never got an offer until he didn't get another offer at least until now, and well, he looks really good this time. I didn't know what to expect from him because it's just he hasn't been good. He hadn't been good until he hasn't been good since the Alliance days. And this is another statement year for him, just like it was for Sven. Because this guy
this was
barely
probably his last chance.
Yeah, exactly. And good on him. He's showed more in these 2 games, in my opinion, than he did in the other 3 years of 2015, 2016, and 2017 that he played.
I think he's finally. I don't know if he's gotten to a stage of I need to start playing better. I need to start playing around my team, and not trying to be the 1v9 playing my niche picks.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that's the Froggen we're going to see, then he will not be on Dignitas for long. he will be picked up by, I don't know, because thinking about the top 3 teams have kind of got their
mids.
They're pretty big mids.
Can go to Immortals. I'm joking. To be fair, I think every single player on CLG exceeded my expectations, to be honest.
Yeah.
Except Hooney. I expected Hooney to be pretty good, and he was pretty good.
I think
Johnson was a really good surprise as well.
The main thing for me was the bomb lane. And I'll let Awada talk about this more, but I feel they just did their roles. Johnson in game 2 on Senna was really good.
Yes.
And I thought after he was washed up, he's played okay. He's played pretty decent. And they've just been doing their part whilst the rest of the map's been performing pretty well.
Oh my god. All right, so I just looked. I made sure to check out all the games, and not a single range support was played, and I'm angry because why are Tom Kent and Braum being blind picked every game, huh? Someone tell me that one.
I think the only streamed range support was the Zillion, the C9 Academy.
Oh, okay, yes, that's why you said streamed, because the LCS, the only range support that was played was Thresh, and Thresh is not a range support.
Yes. I'll let Awada talk about that, because...
yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, go ahead.
According to your pre-season ratings, this should have gone the other way around entirely. But
yes.
Crown looked really rough, and I don't mean to say he looked rough on as a team, because obviously they didn't have a lot of time to practice. But he looked really rough on the solo lane as well, and that's concerning.
I think it's one of the worst or the worst weeks he's had in a long time. I think part of it can be attributed to being jet lagged. I think part of it can be attributed to just not being comfortable. But other than that, he just got outclassed by Froggen, or he got outperformed by Froggen. He got outperformed by Power of Evil in the week, and here's to going forward, I guess.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. Also, Hooney, we all knew that Hooney was good. The issue with Hooney is not how good he is how consistent he will be. And, well, he looked really solid these 2 games. It's still a question mark how he will proceed throughout the season. But he had 0 deaths this weekend.
Yeah, but then again, I don't think Hooney was... I don't know, it didn't feel like he was super involved in most of the game, to be fair.
It reminded me of when he was on SK2. He wasn't the guy. He was on... Coma was putting him on Maokai duty and Galio duty.
He had low kill participations this weekend. It was 33%.
If I recall correctly, he was playing Gangplank this weekend, was he?
He played Renekton and Gangplank.
Yeah.
Gangplank against Immortals.
So, I feel like he was just kind of on role duty and not carry duty.
Yeah.
Because if they're this high on Johnson, then he'll probably get more priority over Hooney.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I really love how Johnson is... He stepped up. You expect a rookie to underperform his first couple weeks in the LCS due to pressure, nerves, and everything.
And I often expect rookies to try way too hard.
Yeah,
On their first
Johnson
week.
just did it. Everyone on this roster
so
did
scared.
a solid job, and that's exactly what they need to do.
I feel like this is a good this is a decent environment for Johnson to not like strain to like try and pop off every game, because I feel like that's a rookie trap where they try to just play like super loose and try and like almost show off on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Where he has enough people to tell him to knock it off.
Yeah.
On this
Oh,
team.
he won't. No, that like act won't last long if he's just showing off.
Yeah, exactly. But he isn't even doing it at all, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, I think
it's
he's just humble to have that opportunity because he wasn't doing it in academy. He only played
No, he
4
wasn't.
games.
Honestly, I would have expected Tactical to debut in the LCS before I would have expected Johnson to show up.
Yeah, I agree.
Not even saying Tactical because because there weren't other academy players. It was just because he was his academy teammate. They played the same role, and Johnson only played like a couple of academy games.
Also,
Yeah, I agree.
CLG was one of the 3 lucky teams that got 0-2 this weekend. How do we improve CLG?
How do we improve CLG? I think they just need time.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think I'll be slightly concerned if by the end of week 2 they're 0-4.
Yes.
Because we've seen this story before with CLG where they were terrible the first half of the split. They made the run and almost made playoffs.
Just the
When
7-11 split, I think.
Yeah, where they should have made playoffs easily.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks, but luckily the championship points don't matter anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
This is the thing, like they just need to prepare themselves the best they can for the qualifiers or the playoffs in summer.
See, I disagree because I value MSI.
Oh, so do I. But it's the question: is do they believe they're going to?
If you,
I think.
Yeah, okay. I can see it if you don't expect to win. Like if you don't think you can win, but then I don't like that mindset. I still don't like that mindset at all. So.
Yeah.
But then, what do you think of their schedule? They play 100 Thieves and Team Solomid this week.
I think they'll go 2-0. Well, very obvious. I think they will 2-0 if they beat 100 Thieves. They play 100 Thieves first.
Yes.
If we could be in a world where this classic rivalry of TSM CLG is the battle of who doesn't go 0-4.
It could be.
Because TSM could be 0-3 by then.
TSM play Evil Geniuses.
Yeah.
Who looked rough themselves, but still better. Still better than anything TSM should. Especially in their 100 Thieves game.
I think they could have problems, but more on CLG. Yeah, I don't think they'll be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
If they can go 1-1 this week, that's fine.
Yeah, and I mean the good thing for CLG at least for now is that they have some time. The 2 big like scary looking matchups are really far away still as they play TL at the end of week 4, and they don't play C9 until the start of week 5.
Yeah, if they had the scary teams right off the bat, it could have damaged their mindsets and mentality. But no, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think they'll be okay. I think I think the one thing they need is time. I think they need Crown to settle in again. They need. I don't know. I think the other players need to also just settle back in to just playing on stage again. I guess it just felt off to me more than bad. Whereas
it just felt like
felt bad.
You had a roster ready, and you just rushed Crown back in.
Yes, I would have appreciated to see Tuesday play if they had been like I said, if they've been scrimming with Tuesday, I would have much rather seen Tuesday than Crown. Even if I think Crown's obviously the way better.
I'd rather go with the roster that's ready as opposed to the best 5 available.
It just reminds me of there was a quote I read the other day where it's finished is always better than perfect, and that roster would have been this roster was unfinished with Crown coming in the day before. But on paper, it's the better roster, but circumstance matters, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, I agree.
Just move on to the next match.
That's one of my issues
just-
with all of this team evaluation going through. Like, it's still too early to tell for most of these teams.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
These
so
issues
now
don't make it any better.
we should go on to Marn's team, which is Cloud9 versus Golden Guardians.
It turns out, when you have enough time to practice, you look a lot better than the rest of the league. And your team doesn't have these issues.
And we're not TSM.
I think it was a pretty standard week, to be honest. I expect, like, in the Golden Guardians game, there was a couple of hiccups, but I would expect that coming from the first week. That the games on stage are so much different.
Yes.
So
their TL game is so impressive, to be honest.
Yeah, there's always going to be that asterisk, but
obviously
I feel the asterisk was removed because you saw what a good team still did to TL versus what TSM did. But then I also think that was a testament to Kane drafted better and TL was able to play the game.
True.
But I still think it was really impressive what C9 did.
I think the C9's TL game, it was like kind of a messy start with a lot of fighting going on around Dragon, and after that, like subsided, it felt like TL never had another avenue into the game. It felt like it was they just got completely choked out. Impact lost on the side lane. I will not understand. I don't like the Azir pick at all. I don't think it's worked for anyone that's picked it this week. Because Jizuke picked it as well, and it went off. It went pretty awful. Even though they won that game, I still don't think it was good. Yeah, and I don't know what happened to in the bot lane, but it looked so good.
I don't mean to be biased, but I did expect it. I knew that this would be an upgrade. I know our good friend Chase said, what are C9 now going to do without their shot callers? But they were never the true shot callers. Zazer was. But Niski and Licorice was big talkers last year. And it feels that the rest of the team, like they've been splitting time with Blabber for a year now. So the synergy was always there between the top half of the map. And I feel the bottom... You just needed a good bottom lane. I'm not saying that Sneaky and Vulcan would have been better. I think you'd have the same results as you would now. I just think you needed to facilitate a better AD carry.
Yeah, I agree. I think the communication thing you mentioned, especially with like Niski being a very vocal person in comms, it just reminds me of the way Fnatic and G2 seem to be communicating at the moment, where it's like, obviously with G2 it's a little bit different because everyone on G2 is like a big communicative person in the way, but it's like Fnatic for the longest time was mid laner and Blippo talk. Yeah. And everyone else just communicates what they have to, and that's like if C9 do that with mainly Licorice and Niski, then hey, sounds good to me.
I think C9 has a system, and they have proved that over the splits, and I think that will prove once again now. They know how to run things. They are solid. They can do great things with any roster they can put together. So they will do well. That's what we all expected.
I think there's a swagger about C9 this year that I've not seen. They are treating themselves as if Team Liquid doesn't exist and they are the top team.
I love that.
I mean, it's because Team Liquid doesn't exist on 30 top team.
And I think Sven has brought a lot of seriousness to this team.
Yes.
He is a workhorse. And that translates to everyone. Sven would not take it if someone's working harder than him. So I just
that reminds me of Piglet when he came into the league, in a way.
Yeah. There's something about this team. I feel like this should have happened a long time ago.
Oh, for sure.
And not because Sneaky was bad, he was still serviceable. But the mentality had to change if they want to start being a world-class team. And I think this is step one.
Yeah, it didn't have to be Sven per se in that sense.
No.
It needed to be someone.
It could have been Doublelift. It could have been Doublelift could have made the change.
Yeah, there were more
He could have
players.
won it on C9.
Wasn't it last year that a lot of C9s was benched for attitude issues? Like not taking it
Yes.
seriously enough?
Yeah. No other org does that. I don't think any other team would bench their 3 best players and biggest players. Yeah, I just think it was time for an entire shift in attitude.
Definitely a
And
culture change
yeah,
within the team.
I
And
think
if Sven brings it, then that's great.
I know
looks
there was
so
a lot
good.
of flame for Licorice in this ski, but I
Honestly,
don't blame them for wanting to win.
I agree.
Because as a C9 fan, I've watched them lose almost, I think it's 6 straight finals in a row. That's not fun.
You can't complain, you have at least gotten to finals. Shut up.
I think there's things C9 could have done to help them win a final. And last year, it wasn't the bot lane's fault, because in game 4 they should have won that game and won the championship, but in game 5 they were getting solo kill for fun. And you start to think, if you just have better pieces around the map, it makes the game so much easier for the rest of the team to play.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what C9's ceiling is. Can they compete with G2 and Fnatic? I don't know. We'll have to see how... The problem was, they couldn't match up in every lane to G2.
Yes.
The mid lane was fine. Blabber was playing good. Licorice was solo killing Wonder. But our bot lane was like 0-3. Just solo kills as well. This wasn't with Jankos giving him attention. And the game just blew open. It's the same with when they played Griffin. Licorice had a push in the side lane, and then our bot lane got killed and we lost the game. I'm scared it's turning into like a sneaky roast podcast, but
Guys can handle it.
Yeah. I mean, what else is to do in NA aside from roasting?
I just think it's really upsetting that the whole of the community keeps talking about Sneaky and not about the current roster. Like, every question Sven gets is about filling Sneaky's shoes. But this is a completely new era, and this is Sven C9.
Yeah. Totally
So,
agree.
that's my take on it. The past is the past. Sneaky was a legend, he always will be. But it's time to move on.
Yeah, I think this will be a very positive change for the org if things continue going this way.
This is exactly how you wanted them to start the split.
Yeah, I don't know who they have 100 Thieves and EG next week, which is... I'm worried more about the 100 Thieves game than the EG game.
EG game will have all the memes though.
Yeah.
For sure.
100 Thieves is on that line of teams I still want to see more of. I still don't know where they will fit exactly.
Correction, they play Immortals instead.
Oh, the C9 playing Mortals?
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Now
I think they should 2-0 that week.
Yes. I think they should.
They really should.
They should probably be 2-0.
So what do you guys think about 100 Thieves to wrap around teams that we haven't talked about yet?
They're weird.
Yes.
Because they're pretty bad in their EG game. Areoma looked awful in their EG game actually, which made I don't know, Manny made Jizuka look good, which is worrisome. But
yeah, he looked fine on the Blanc.
I think Areoma looked like, and the rest of 100 Thieves, they looked okay in their GGS game, but it's still not as good of a game as it should have been.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Depends what your expectations are of this team. I think for a team like 100 Thieves, going 1-on-1 is acceptable.
I guess.
And that's the kind of trajectory you'll get. You'll get good games from them, but you'll also get really bad EG games from them. I think they'll be an up and down team.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely not going to look like 2018 spring. It's going to be, but I think they have the potential to reach higher than that. I don't know. They're a weird team to me.
Before
Feel
we
really
move on
weird.
to EG, we just barely touched on Golden Guardians, but I love that because there's nothing really else to say about them. They're just bad.
GGS were better than expected this week, to be honest.
That was probably the best O2 week they could have.
Like, they showed some signs of life against arguably the best team in the league at the moment, Cloud9, and their game against 100 Thieves was honestly really, really winnable.
Yeah,
There were like some really weird things. I think Golden Glue had a good game, or for most of it, but then he made some really weird mistakes, like the item mistake where he had the wrong item in the first slot, which upgraded his loot instead of his def cap. But then also like some stuff around the Elder Dragon. I don't know. I think this team is better than we gave them credit for in our rankings. Are they going to make playoffs? No.
I think what benefits them is their top side's good.
Yes,
and
the really good.
The bot side doesn't matter too much, because mainly because of the Drakes not having that much significance until you get the soul.
Drakes are so overrated.
So most teams are actually giving up 1 to 2 very, very quickly.
Yes.
And if you have a good top side, you can at least have yourself in the game, which I wasn't expecting Golden Guardians to be, but Closers performed better than I expected.
Mm-hmm. I think they're interesting.
The team we spent 30 minutes almost talking about last week, Evil Geniuses. How do they stack up?
It bangs pretty good, it turns out.
Yeah, bangs pretty good.
Turns out this Bang guy is a world champion. But this Bang guy is a world champion, right? Okay. His team, I don't think any of his teammates are world champions, right? That's
Closest is a semi-finalist.
What?
Zazel and Svenskeren.
God damn it.
The semi-finalist.
Yeah, Kumo also a semi-finalist. Maybe is Kumo's an Academy semi-finalist. Is he Academy world champion?
Yeah, he's Academy world champion.
Jesus Christ. And meanwhile, Jizuke. I don't know, man. I think Jizuke looked horrendous in the Azir game against
I just don't
Dignitas.
understand the NA team's obsession with picking Azir.
Dude, I don't get it. I think the champion's bad.
Yeah.
And especially, I don't get it, especially when you're picking it. I don't remember when in the draft it was picked against Cloud9. Was it picked before or after this? It was picked. It was.
They blind picked the Azir.
They blind picked Azir against what, the only reasonable Veigar player in the league? Maybe Froggen can be considered a Veigar player. I don't know.
And Veigar's really good as well.
Like Veigar is probably like one is like Niski's like. He's like kind of like notorious for it for a bit.
You've probably lost if Niski's on Veigar.
It's like, I don't understand why you would blind Azir into the guy that's most likely to pick just a hard counter Veigar. It makes no sense. And like, there are other picks he could have gone for. Like, where's Cassiopeia? Why not just pick Cassiopeia instead of Azir every time? Like, what does Azir bring that Cassiopeia doesn't bring?
I think we're starting to see like a resurgence of the mage meta that we've seen over and over again, and usually Azir has been good in this, but I don't think so this time because there are just options.
Genuinely, right now, I don't see any reason why you'd pick him over Cassiopeia.
I think there are just other way better options we've seen, even Victor.
Yeah, Victor, Victor's great.
Yeah.
Froggen looked fantastic on the champion. I think the reason I brought up Cassiopeia is because she's very similar in what she does to Azir.
Yeah.
Whereas Victor is at least different.
Unless it's Crown playing Cassiopeia.
Hey, come on, man. It's not his fault that he built no Ornn items or Leandries.
What did we make of Svenskeren's play?
I think he looks pretty bad compared to last year. think he looks like the fourth
old-
best jungler in the league.
I think he looked like the
Yes.
old Svenskeren.
I think he looked like
Who's-
TSM Svenskeren.
Yeah. And
Outside of like when he looked pretty good at Worlds in 2016, I don't know. This looks like 2017 Svenskeren, to be honest.
I'm scared that it's just a C9 thing that can make players look really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe it is just a coach thing.
I don't know. Like if you look at some of the players, like I don't know.
You look at most players minus Impact and Jensen, they don't really have that much success as soon as they leave C9.
Yeah, I mean,
They all just fall to the
arguably,
bottom of the LCS.
I don't think Jensen's looked better since being on TL. I think Impact did look better on TL than he looked on C. I think peak Impact did happen on TL.
Yeah,
But I feel like he's the only player that didn't peak on C9.
I feel there was a brief period of Impact in summer 2016.
Yeah,
where,
there was the top die meme.
Yeah,
But I think he was super. Like Impact was super good last year.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
Just the only
SKT
time I've had
Impact.
the feel in NA that like we need Impact to carry was the 2016 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was heavily relying not on Jensen to carry, Impact to be the guy.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
Jensen for me, he looks so much better on champions like Oriana than. I know he's a Kali, he does look great like in the summer finals, but he works so much better as being a supportive player.
Oriana looks really good against TSM on Monday.
I think Jensen on unique carries looks great because I know he had the 300 kill split where he got like 20 kills on the Blanc.
Like if you think about it, I feel like his effective current champion pool sounds very similar to like some champions seems like be stylistically similar to what I think Froggen should be playing now.
Yes.
Whereas like no, it's not the Anivia, but like the stuff like the Victors and the Orianas, and even like okay, it's funny because Bjergsen played it. Like the Zillion is a champion that's Jensen's looked really good on in the past, and I don't know. I don't like the Azir. I really like the Oriana. I liked him on Oriana. Hated him on Azir.
Off on Oriana.
He looks.
He was the reason I thought TSM won TL won that game.
He was. He like. I remember there was a fight in mid where he QW'd Dardoch on like max range and did 90% of his health.
Yeah.
Because he just been styling that hard. He was so far ahead. Fantastic game out of him. The Azir game, not so much. But I do want to say, Mr. Kegel, you trolled when you said that this was that EG were the last team that it was to talk about because
there are the last team.
No, there's one more.
No, there's no more teams in NA.
There's Mr. What about the only team that's out here trying to save the Earth by planting trees, one ocean dragon at a time? How could you forget the other team that went 2-0 besides C9 and Dignitas, Mr. FlyQuest? This team looks pretty cool.
Where Chase got many teams wrong in his power rankings, he got this one really right. At least for week 1.
At least I feel better about our rankings because I heard so many people put them 9th. Oh no. Let's be honest, I don't think this team is going to be like top 3 by the end of the split. But for now,
just look at
I think this is a playoff team for sure.
Yeah, this is a playoff team, definitely.
Yeah, they look the most defined outside of C9.
I think there are. Who would you guys predict to not make playoffs just based on what we've seen so far?
Golden Guardians,
of course.
Immortals,
yep.
TSM.
Because like the first 4 teams that come to mind for me are Immortals, Golden Guardians, 100 Thieves, and Evil Geniuses.
I would say
TSM
Immortals,
has enough players.
CLG.
I think TSM and CLG have enough still going for them on paper that they should be able to make it over this extra hurdle.
For me, if I was TSM, I'd start worrying if they're going 0-4.
Yes.
Because that will start to affect players. Imagine Kobe was at World Splice last year.
Dude, imagine getting a different player and going 0-4 in the first 2 weeks of your spring split. Not me. I can't relate.
But I think they'll at least get playoffs. They won't.
Yeah. I would be really worried about either of those TSM or CLG rosters if they don't make playoffs. I think these teams are still too good on paper to not make playoffs.
Okay, so quick prediction: who would TSM would be the first to get chopped if they didn't make playoffs?
Who's Sir Dardock?
I want to say Broken Blade, but
I want to say Broken Blade because of the import slot he's taking up.
yes,
a bad import slot is not going to have a long life in the LCS.
Because I don't think Dardock will be the first to be cut, because who did they replace him with?
Here's the thing.
Speaker?
TSM has a long history of just screwing over their jungler, and
Yeah, but they don't get cut. Necessarily. Like, there's literally no one that they could get what did they do? They get a Cadian back from Dignitas.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll go over.
Or
They're
they
gonna put
sign
Spica in.
Svenskeren. But
Okay, buddy.
Svenskeren...
He's too busy. He's too busy being evil.
they can get Rookie of the Split Mike Young.
Yeah, Mike, don't call me Mike. Rookie of the Split Young.
Oh, wait. Did you guys see Speaker's kick to Mike Young?
Oh, wait.
No, please enlighten me.
There's like I've just had people talk about this a lot. I think it was just like Mike Young was in the dragon pit. Speaker flashes in, kicks him out, steals the dragon. That's
Pog.
I think
It's like the classic Listen play. I love that.
Yeah, I just think
It just sounds really waxcated.
I think this is a big split for Broken Blade.
Yeah, I agree.
If he's really bad again,
Wait, that is a good point.
They will probably look elsewhere.
They could cut Kabe because they could pick up Jackie Love.
That is true.
That would be the biggest brain move. Clearly,
That would be. Yeah, and he's a free agent right now.
He is a free. He's not on Invictus Gaming. That has to be the wackest move of the offseason still. The fact that he left IG.
Yeah, that was a crazy one.
Man, but going back to FlyQuest, I love seeing Viper on Riven, man. It doesn't happen that frequently, but when it does,
it looks very good.
Yeah,
it makes me happy.
And the problem is, it just forces a ban.
It does.
It's really annoying.
I love it. There's just a few players that have like certain champions that they bring out from time to time, and it's just like amazing. And then there's Mr. Crown, who hasn't played Victor in 3 years, but enough of that.
I just want to see Dignitas in playoffs. That's my dream.
I do want to see Dignitas in playoffs now.
I know I totally just jinxed it, but by saying it, but that's honestly my dream.
Are we seeing a repeat of the? Actually, no. Let's go back to FlyQuest because I feel they're not getting their just deserved because we haven't spoke about them at all.
They look really good.
FlyQuest is good.
I think, yeah. Their
early game against Immortals was a little.
I think they can get top 3 in the sense of I expect Team Liquid to bounce back. If C9 are really good, like they've shown, that's top 2 gone for any team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with TSM being bad, third is up for grabs.
Okay, so Cloud9 we predict will land better than FlyQuest. Who else do we predict that will land better than FlyQuest aside from Liquid?
Hold on, I'm trying to count how many trees they planted this week.
I think it's always a good thing when
210.
for fans, because when fans mostly see this sort of campaign, they're bad teams that are trying to get fans to like them.
231.
Yeah,
And
that will be the real miracle if we see a team that's
But-
doing a campaign and doing well.
but it's always a good feeling when the team is also popping off.
Got 290 trees.
The FlyQuest C9 game is going to be an absolute tree fest.
It is going to be an absolute tree fest. Let's
Can
hope we
we
get an ocean rift, and they can trade. They can get 5 oceans, 50 trees.
Can they please play Maokai that game? Maokai and Ivern, same team.
Ivern. Maokai. Yeah, that would be funny. Let's go, Tree Fest.
Yeah, I think
Alright.
their peak is top 3.
Yeah, I think that's a
So,
reasonable pick.
any closing thoughts on any?
Uh,
I love Dignitas.
TSM being that bad is an overreaction, but I wouldn't be surprised if the wheels fall off very quickly.
As
Uh,
a former EcoFox fan, I'm used to having like 2 wins in the whole split, so we're already golden with Dignitas.
This is a big,
Oh,
big week for C9. For me personally, because I have gone many times in regular splits, and they have just lost games to the worst placed team in the league.
you're going to look back at this week if they lose games and end up like losing a tiebreaker against Liquid somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If C9 really want to assert their dominance, they have to be consistent.
Mhm.
This is a week to do it. Just go out there, get the easy dubs.
I'm really interested in the Dignitas FlyQuest game on
That's
Monday Night League,
unfortunately
which
what
is
you want to
Tuesday
know,
night
but-
league, which is Tuesday night league for us.
Yeah. The TSM Liquid game was on at 2:30, which is way too late.
Yep.
I
2:30 and
hate on
3:30.
The Monday, not because of the day, but because of the time. It's so freaking late.
Yeah.
It does benefit North American fans, I will admit,
Yes.
which it should.
That is in fact the point.
Yep.
The
Monday
issue is
Night
that
League.
it's also very late at night, so if you have to work on Tuesday, you're like screwed up. Even if you're in like North America or something.
It's not that late for North. I mean, it depends, right? It depends on if
Yeah,
you're East
depends
Coast,
on
maybe.
Your coast, absolutely.
Actually, if you're East Coast, then the games still end before like 11 p.m.,
Oh,
Which is fine.
which is fine, completely fine.
All right. They
Because
just
East Coast time, then the last game starts at 9:30 p.m. or is planned to start at 9:30 p.m., which is completely fine. And
Okay.
for West Coast, it's really good timing.
yeah, it's good time.
Obviously,
For them. I thought they were
Right.
closer to my time, and I screwed up.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So
'Cause, yeah, like for you, it's bad timing.
Yeah,
For us, it's really bad timing.
no, I mean it's a reasonable timing for me. I'm just complaining. But for you
Yeah,
guys, you're
as-
really screwed.
As an EU fan who will never tune into Monday Night League because it's in the middle of the goddamn night, not a fan. But as looking at it from an NA perspective, it's fine.
Yeah.
We like more game days. How about we just make our system more like China's, which is a system that has more game days?
How about we have best of threes?
No, that's too much to ask. All right, let's wrap it up. No. Before
I
we get
don't
any
want
crazy ideas.
180 minutes of TSM, but
We could have had 3 hours of TSM versus
Yeah.
Immortals.
Oh, good. I mean, thank God we don't have best of threes. Thinking back up on that.
All right, let's wrap it up.
yep.
Oh,
Done with the
yeah.
stable
All
region.
right. Yeah, we're done. We're done. Let's wrap this up.
Okay, what's the China podcast, huh?
When's the Latin America podcast? Huh?
To be announced.
yeah. Not for a while.
The China one's been postponed.
All right, guys. Thanks all for listening.
All right.
This has been a podcast. See you guys.
See you.
Bye.